Today we're going to talk about what makes a business work without you. Okay, my name is Michael Barayev. I built a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with zero money invested, and now we have a solar company that's growing from coast to coast like butter on toast. So today I want to talk about, when it comes to building a business and Xing yourself out, like how do you build a business where it doesn't require your effort, your time, your energy, your resource? Like how do you make a business grow bigger than yourself, right? Because I always thought about this. I'm like, how do I grow my business? Because I don't want to be the guy that's always dependent on myself. Like I don't want the business to depend on me. I don't want to depend on myself all the time, right? I just want to relax and have a business that grows without me. Or if I have a second business or a third business or a fourth business, like how do you do that? And I always was pondering about that, and I came to a conclusion that a business has two main functions. A business has two supporting beams. It has people and it has systems. And if you understand that combination, you will ultimately become successful and rich in your businesses. Okay, when I say rich, I'm talking about rich in time, rich in money, and rich in resources. And the reason why I say this is because if you have a business that has a lot of people, whether it's employees, salespeople, staff, contractors, vendors, partners, whatever it may be, but you don't have the proper systems to help sustain that growth, you're going to be working a lot of freaking hours and have a lot of headaches. Or vice versa, you may have the most amazing systems, the most amazing processes, operations, like everything is amazing, but the problem is what? You don't have any people to help you out, and you're kind of dependent on yourself to do all that work, right? So you need to have the people, you need to have the systems, and that's what's going to help you ultimately grow your business to be able to X yourself out. That's what I learned a long time ago from one of my mentors. He's like, Michael, can you X yourself out of your business right now? And that's the question I always ask myself. How do I X myself out of every single position? How do I X myself out of finance, leadership? And we're going to talk about some of those departments in a second, right? But how do you X yourself out of all those departments so that you're not doing all that work, okay? Now, when it comes to people, this side of the equation, right? When it comes to that foundational pillar, what do you need to understand about people, right? What do you say people? Like, can I just hire 50 people and that's it, I'm done? No, you need to have some skill sets. So some of those skill sets are what? Leadership. Right? You need to have the right leadership skill set. Skill set and leadership is extremely, extremely important. Every CEO, if you look at most CEOs, the reason why they are CEOs is because they're a leader. They know how to lead the company. They have vision. They have the audacity to say, you know what, we're going to accomplish X, Y, and Z in 6 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years. And they have the balls to go attack. They have the courage to go attack, right? Whatever that vision is. And leadership is about influencing other people to see your vision, to see your dreams, to see your goals to fruition. If you do not know how to lead people, you will never have a business that's sustainable. You have to learn how to build a team. That's one of the things that helped me out tremendously. I learned how to become a better leader. Now, every single day I'm becoming a better leader and a better leader. I got a lot of improvement as a human being to become a better leader every single day. But one of the things that I learned is that if I focus on my leadership skill set, it'll be much easier for me to depend on other people. Okay? The next thing I learned that you need to learn about leadership that kind of changed my life as well is training, right? And remember, I know that some of you guys may think, well, on the system side, you may have trainings and videos and SOPs and stuff like that, which we'll get to in a second. But when it comes to training, I'm talking about like actual training a human being, taking your skill set and duplicating it to another human being. How do you equip somebody else? How do you duplicate your skill set into them when it comes to that specific work, right? Like, how do you do that? There's a skill set to training. It's learning how to be a teacher. Because if you learn how to teach other people, that is a skill set that people are willing to pay tons of money for. So how do you duplicate yourself into other people? How does someone who has no experience in that skill set learn what you know how to do? Because that's very important, right? Now remember, you can use the systems to help you with that, but we're just talking about the people side, right? How do you take your information and transfer that information to somebody else? I wish this would have been amazing. If you ever watched the movie Matrix, where you can literally have the freaking needle in your head and boom, all of a sudden you know Kung Fu in 2 minutes, right? I wish that was a possibility, but we don't have that, right? You have to sit there and take the time, the due diligence, the energy, the research. You got to do all this stuff to get that person trained up. And the next thing about when it comes to, growing with people is communication. That's a skill set that you definitely need. Like, you have to learn how to communicate. Your tone, your tonality, your pitch, your dynamics, your voice, your body language, how you understand people, like looking at them, speaking with them, like all that stuff. You need to understand how to communicate effectively. Just because you're a good leader, just because you're good at transferring a skill and teaching, you're an amazing teacher or whatever it may be, if you cannot communicate effectively, this whole thing crumbles. Communication is everything. How you communicate, when you communicate, why you communicate. Right? Understanding the strategy behind why you say certain things. Like, nothing is done by mistake. Everything has to be a strategy, right? If you play chess, I love playing chess, by the way. If you play chess, it's always about a couple of moves ahead. It's not about like what I do today or what I do right now. It's about what's going to happen 2, 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. And you have to be able to strategize and have the right tactics to deal with people, because people are complicated people. People are complicated, man. People are complicated. Systems, very easy. But people, that's where it gets complicated. And that's where it gets a little bit challenging. But if you build your skill set in communication, you build your skill set in how to train people and how to be a better leader, it just gets easier, right? You can able to duplicate yourself, all right? Next is about relationships, okay? When it comes to people, you have to have relationships. You can be a great leader. You can be a great communicator. You can be a great teacher. You can be great at everything. If you don't build relationships with people, it's not going to stick. The glue to everything is the relationships. The glue to building your teams, whether it's your finance team, whether it's the HR team, whether it's the whatever team, it's the glue is the relationship. So the relationship is very important. Now, I'm not saying you need to have a relationship on a deep level to know everything about them. No, but you need to have a strong bond, a strong relationship. And whoever you have in your team that is a great leader that is running that department, or multiple leaders that are running that department, you need to make sure, number one, you have a great relationship with the leaders. And number two, you need to make sure that those leaders have great relations with their people. And you have to check up on that. You know, CEO doesn't just sit home and do nothing, right? Your job is to make sure the people are taken care of. So you're asking questions. How's this person doing? How's that person doing? Get on Zoom calls, pop into those meetings, figure out what's going on. And remember, as a CEO, if you want to have multiple businesses, as a leader, you want to have multiple teams or whatever, you need to make sure the leaders know exactly what they're doing. So not only do you have to have the skill set of training, of leadership, of communication, of teamwork, they need to have that as well. And that's the real key, because you need to have other people that are competent, right, and have the capacity to do exactly what needs to get done without you telling them what to do, right? Now that's the people side, right? And a lot of people have a lot of work to do there. If you think you need a lot of work, do me a favor, comment down below. Let me know your opinion. Tell me some of the challenges you've had when it comes to dealing with people. Okay, and by the way, if you love this content so far, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. Okay, we're going to talk about the system side in a second, but I would appreciate you giving me that thumbs up and subscribing on the channel. Okay, now when it comes to the system side, okay, this is where a lot of my emotional people check out. Oh, I don't want to do systems. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at that. Oh, I'm disorganized. Oh, no, it's not for me. And I understand that you may think that, you need to focus on just people and training and this and that. But like, if you don't have the systems in place, I promise you, you're going to have a messy business. Like, for example, I have an accountant that I was talking to not too long ago, and he was asking me, is your books in order? I was like, my friend, my books are in order every single week. As a matter of fact, everything is updated till today. Why is that? Because I don't want to have the mess of 2022 on my lap in February 2023 when I'm doing taxes. I want it to be organized. I want to know how much money I have, how much money I don't have. I want to know what's my tax money going to be, what's my pre-tax. I want to know everything. So I need to be organized with systems. So I have the right person running that department, running that specific section, right? And then I have what? A system in place. So when there's receipts in the company, any expenses, there's a whole process. Now, what a system does, it basically takes redundant things and makes a systematic process of what needs to get done without anyone asking you a question. If you get a bunch of phone calls from your team, what do I do here? What do I do there? What do I do this? You don't have a system. You have a job. What you need is a process. What we call is an SOP, which means for a standard operating procedure, which means you have everything documented step by step on what needs to get done in that specific process. So for example, let's say it comes to an accounting practice, right? And you want to get all the receipts done and all that stuff, and for the books, right? When you post this receipt, when the receipts come into QuickBooks, the accountant does X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and he does it at this time, this time, this time. It's all in a process, in a step-by-step, whether it's written down, whether it's through a video, whether it's through pictures. You can mix and match. I recommend that, but you need to have that step-by-step process, and that's what we call an SOP. Then you need to have protocols. If this happens, then this needs to get done. Right? Protocols and procedures, because sometimes things come out of the blue, like an anomaly. Well, we have a receipt that we don't even know how much it is. How do there's no invoice attached to this or whatever it may be, right? There's a process, some anomaly happens. How do you deal with it? That's called protocols. So you have people using their brains and their sechel, right? They say in Hebrew, using their noodles to understand the protocol so that they don't call you. So I'm not the one that they're asking all these questions to. Because remember, I want a business that grows without me. I don't want a business that depends on me all day. That's crazy. First of all, it's crazy and a lunatic. And number three, it's impossible. You cannot build a business all by yourself. Like if you're trying to be that egotistical guy that wants to do it by himself, you cannot do it. I'm sorry. Every billionaire, every millionaire has always had people and systems build businesses with them. And that's what needs to get done. So the systems have the SOPs, the protocols, right? It has the procedures. It also has the automations, right? What can you automate in your business? For example, we have a beautiful system, a CRM as an example, where if a customer comes in as a brand new sale, it sends a bunch of tasks to certain people on what needs to get done, right? So it's a reminder, it's an email checklist, whatever it is, it's got to be automated. Try to eliminate as much as you possibly can. I can make another video on this, on how do you eliminate, how do you delegate, how do you automate, because that's a beautiful way of systematizing your business, and that'll be a great video to make. And I think I made it before. If not, I'll make another one of it, right? But it's pretty amazing because when you automate, delegate, and eliminate, you make your business 10 times faster. It grows 10 times more without any errors, without any issues, because it's not dependent on a human mistake. It's automated, right? It's all delegated to the human if a human has to do it. And then anything else can just be eliminated. And that's how you build a business, my friends. You have people, you have systems. If you can really, really, really work on the people side and building your leadership skills and your communication skills and your, how you deal with people and all that stuff and duplicating yourself, and you can build out the right systems and processes on operations, on, finance, on HR, on IT, whatever it may be. If you can build out those systems, build out those processes, build out those protocols, build out those SOPs, and have a process and have a system, a cog, a machine working for you, what'll end up happening, you can literally walk away from the business and see that thing grow like crazy exponentially. And now you can really be the CEO or the owner or the leader that you need to be to run that business. Now, for those that are not in a business owner position and you're a manager, and you're probably focused on this side of the equation with the people, and your company does not have the proper systems and processes, and you have a lot of work being piled on your head, well, maybe you need to speak to the CEO, the owner, whoever's in charge and say, hey, can we work on some of these processes? Can you make it easier for me when it comes to this and that? And that's what the team is there to do. They're not there to remove all the problems by themselves, because just the people alone cannot do that. They need the help of the systems and the processes together with the people, and now you have a growing business. So I appreciate you, I love you, and hopefully this content really changed your life. If it did, do me a favor, put a thumbs up, drop some love in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're pushing the channel to get 100,000 plus subscribers. And I appreciate you guys. I love you all. See you guys in the next video.